All right, see you on the other side. Hello, everyone. You're watching Obscurathon 2022, and my name is NickRPGreen. I am running Unmetal, any % easy, and I do hope you really enjoy it. Before we get started, I'm going to just pop in this quick code.
Yo, it's Apache Smash. Thanks for entering my code. Let's play Unmetal.
So that is MGSR's own Apache Smash, who is in the game. He got added to the game, which was cool. And yeah, let's do this. All right. So this is any % easy, and we will be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. So this game is despite the name, this game is not linked to Metal Gear Solids, or any other of Kojima's games. This is a game by a developer called Unepic Fran. You may have heard of him. He made other games such as Unepic and Ghost. And it is, however, a love letter to the Metal Gear games on the MSX, so Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. It is a game that only came out last year, and we at Metal Gear Speedrunners were very fortunate to work with the devs on making this available for speedrunning, incorporating the timer, and lots of other things. We even put on an event with the developers to have this game like streamed for 12 hours on our channel, and we were trying to beat the records and things like that. It was a really cool event, and we all really enjoyed it. So, you know, a huge hats off to Unepic Fran and Jack Lafayette, two of the main developers on this game, for making it so amazing. So anyway, what are we actually doing? Our name is Jesse Fox. We have been put in prison for a crime that we didn't commit, and now we are explaining to some army guys how we escaped this big fortress that we are currently escaping from. You'll notice every time I kill a guard without being seen, I'm getting some experience. This does have some, like, a mini RPG element to it. Not really. It's just we level up. And that's going to be really important throughout the run. We need to make sure that we get enough XP so that we can get all of the upgrades that we need. Mainly we're looking to get to level 6. Actually don't know why I went for that. However, it's important to note, if we get spotted by an enemy, even if he just sees us, we can't get any more XP from him. We do have to be very careful. I'm going to combine those, and then I'm going to combine those, create ourselves a slingshot. I'm going to get... Oh! I thought I was going to get spotted by that guard, but I didn't. That was nice. One of the things with this game, as opposed to other, like, Metal Gear games, guard patterns are all RNG, and it makes the game really interesting, but it can make it a little bit frustrating at times. And that guard is going to get me to level 2. Which is a really, really good time to get to level 2. Getting to level 2 in this level is really important. So the first upgrade I got is called Sprint. It makes us move faster. So as you can probably imagine, it's absolutely perfect for speedrunning. And we're now going to face the first boss, Grenade Guy. We're going to defeat him with these depleted uranium balls. We couldn't find a gun or any ammo, so we're just gonna hit him with these balls.
Boss defeated.
And that's the first boss. I had to be quiet there so that I could dance to that little tune, because I always dance to the little tune. We're gonna now combine this hook with this rope so that we can leave level 1 and make our way into the sewers for stage 2. You'll see the timer will pause. We were very lucky to be able to work with the developers on also having this implemented for live split. So the timer pauses in between chapters, and we use the IGT to determine the time. Again, huge thanks to Unepic Fran for all the work he did on and helping us to develop Live Split as well. We have a community member called B-Man, who's done a lot of work across multiple games, but he basically designed the whole auto splitter for us for this. Second boss, this is Sergeant Roscoe. You can see no weapons or anything. We're just going to punch this globe at him over and over again. Luckily, his movement here is fixed. This is not random, so I already know exactly where he's going to land. A couple more shots. There's going to be one about there. And one more. In fact, that's already nicely set up. And that's Sergeant Roscoe. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All right. So now we've got the next key card. We can keep moving onwards. You'll notice that sometimes I roll and sometimes I don't. Even with sprint, it's faster to roll if there's an enemy on screen, because sprint gets cut slightly if there is an enemy on screen. Just gonna load a save there. We're going to be doing that a lot, like reloading saves. Reloading saves is really helpful because if we're bleeding out, if we take damage, I haven't taken any damage yet, so I can't show you. We're going to in a second with our first major skip of the run. This is called Doggo Skip. What you're supposed to do here is you're supposed to go left and find some meat that you throw. Find some meat to throw for the dog, and he goes and eats it. But we found this skip very, very early, where instead we can just roll past the dog quickly. So now that I've been injured, I'm bleeding out, so I'm on a bit of a timer to do stuff. And what I need to do is I need to get to the next save point, because if I reload the save at my next save point, I will completely heal back up to full, and I won't be bleeding anymore. Luckily, it's not far away. So I'm just going to quickly combine a couple more items because we need these things. Gonna chat to this prisoner, Robert, and there's our load. There's our save. Load it back to full health. Doggo skip again on the way back. We'll roll. And now we've got probably one of the longest sections whilst bleeding out. It's not that difficult. But if Doggo Skip goes really badly, you can leave you on quite little health. Gonna get to here. And there it is. And we're good. We can carry on. We're now going to grab our first secret of the game. Most secrets that we grab give you stamina, like that one. That just means our health is extended a little bit further. Get around that. And basically we're trying to grab those all for a not really a skip later on, but a section in the very last level where we want to have as much health as possible. So we're just gonna move around all of these. Just gonna wait for it to come over. I didn't quite get that punch right. There we go. A bit slow, but it's a bit safer to do it that way. Oh, that was nice. Those shredders, if we got hit by any of those shredders, that's an instant death. Now you might be thinking, this is all really serious. It's not. This is a comedy game. So we get a lot of dialogue choices in this game. His girlfriend that he's telling the story to just asked him whether or not there were a lot of rats down in the sewer, and we said none. And as a player, you might think that means, okay, if I say none, then there's not going to be any rats, and I don't have to deal with rats. So because you've said none, instead, Jesse says, there were a load of terrifying squirrels instead. I felt like an acorn. Alright. Coming up to the flamethrower section of the run, which can be a little precarious, but it's not too bad. We'll grab some gasoline, and we're gonna make a flamethrower. Well, I say make a flamethrower. We're going to find an old, abandoned, broken flamethrower and fix it, which is this one. So fix it, add some fuel, and now we have a flamethrower. And we're going to have to get through a section here with more squirrels. And you may see that there's a little meter above Jesse's head. We can't let that meter get to full, otherwise the flamethrower will break. and when the flamethrower breaks, it also explodes. But we're good at the moment. Just gonna kill some more rats behind me. Sorry, squirrels. Play it safe and take out some more squirrels. And then we're going to get our second secret, which is through a wall here. Which subsequently also makes all the rats disappear, which is really nice. Alright, we've got our next boss. This next boss is called Sewer Junk. And this boss has a skip as well. But it's quite tricky to set up. It requires getting Sewer Junk to a very specific amount of health. Which I'll try and do, but we'll see what happens. You're going to get good or bad RNG. Bad RNG on Rising here. So we just got asked how many tentacles it had. And you might think, he's a madman. He went for 6 when there was 2. If I'd picked 2, Jesse would have said it would have had 24 tentacles. Meaning it would have had 24 tentacles for me to have to deal with. Which, see, is a worse number than 2. Okay, I have not... Unfortunately, I'm not going to get the flamethrower skip here. So, unfortunately, the flamethrower now breaks. And we just have to finish it off like that. It is possible to avoid that little bit of dialogue where it asks if the flamethrower breaks, but you have to get Sewer Junk down to a very specific amount of health so that it doesn't trigger, and then finish the fight with the amount of health he's got left. But that's chapter 2. Just a dialogue option that we're not really interested in, and that's stage 2. So far, so good. Here we go, chapter 3, In the Lion's Den. This is an interesting chapter because literally last night I worked out a new route for this chapter, but it's hella risky and I don't think it saves a lot of time, so I got very frustrated just doing this chapter over and over again last night. So it's going to be nice just going back and doing it the normal way. Not a lot to say to start with. I'm going to just get that guard there for the free XP. Now, if you recall right at the start of the game, before I started playing, I put in the code Apache Smash. That is because community member of MGSR, Apache Smash, is in the game. These voice lines you're hearing now is MGSR's very own Apache Smash. And that's the only time in the game we're going to hear. He does voice other characters, other random guards, but unfortunately that's the only time during the speedrun that we'll actually come across it. We now have a gun. Now, unfortunately, Jesse here is not a mercenary. He's not an action man. He's not a soldier. He's just some guy who got caught up in all of this, and he doesn't want to kill anyone. So we are not allowed to kill anyone. If at any point we deal lethal damage to an enemy soldier, that soldier will instead start to bleed out, and we have to patch them up with our own health kits. We're grabbing the next secret here. Is some more stamina, but also getting some bullets, because we've got a couple of boss fights where we're going to need a lot of bullets. There's a file in here. We must make sure that we get all of the files that are in this level. Away over to this guard here. He spotted me. That's alright. More ammo. Is this cool? And up the elevator. Alright. This whole section, we could shoot these drones, but that would take time and use up ammo, so we're just going to keep rolling. So rolling whilst there's enemies on screen is faster than just normal running. Just roll through all of these. Try not to get shot. And, yeah, we're good. And this is the next boss. This is Megatron. Pretty fast boss, really. And boss defeated.
Boss defeated.
And here I'm just gonna try and get as much ammo as possible because we use gun ammo a lot during the run. All right, how many of you remember your high school science? Because Jesse's also a scientist, so we're gonna make some chloroform. And you may remember that chloroform is made by mixing 1 part chlora and 1 part form. There we go, chloroform. Simple as that. That was like Science 101 at school, right? Yeah, we all remember that. All right, now we're gonna go back the way we came. Oh, I am full on bullets. That's unusual. Doesn't happen usually at this point. Just try and get past all these guards. Watch out for the drones. Whee! One more drone room. And we're through. Excellent. Okay, so now we're now gonna go through another room where we have to wear this thermal suit because there are lasers, as you can see. And if we get spotted by any of these lasers, it will call an alert. And trying to escape the alert in here is, I'd normally say nigh on impossible, but it's the trick that I was working on yesterday, where you can actually escape the alert, and we don't have to go and get the suit, and we don't have to fight Megatron, but it's very risky. And it shouldn't really be done in runs. Unfortunately, this suit tears easily, so Jesse won't punch whilst wearing the suit, so we have to keep taking it off every time we want to punch these boxes. You may notice I'm collecting some batteries. There are 12 batteries in total, and we need them all for the very last section of this bit. We're getting another dialogue option here. DTC, GRD, and SHP. We go for detectors, because it's the quickest version. GRD would be guards. It would put 2 more guards in that room. SHP sounds like sheep, doesn't it? That's because it is. It will drop 250 sheep into that room, and you just have to try and navigate through them, which is very slow. Right, talk to that guy, give him the batteries, and he's now taken out the gate. Now that chloroform that we had, we're going to sniff that chloroform. It's going to put us to sleep. Some guards are going to take us away, and we've now skipped all the way back to the start of the level, where we need to get over to the doctors here. That's not a glitch or anything. That is completely intended mechanic by the developers. I just don't think they thought it through how and when we were going to use it to skip quite so much of this level. Just waiting for the lieutenant to leave. I'm going to quickly just combine those into another weapon. Go back in here. Just make sure the doc's okay. She's fine. And we're going to go into our next fight. This is Lieutenant Marcusson. So first thing we're going to do, we are going to cap those 2 guards. And we're just going to follow Marcusson around. Need to reload. And whilst we wait for Marcusson, I'm just going to go and heal these 2 guards up. I went down. Oh, that's a beautiful position. We want Marcusson to drop as close to the gate on the right as possible. Whoops, I need to get a card key from him, because we're now going to carry him out. So defeating him and dropping him there was really nice. The reason we're carrying him is there's a retinal scanner coming up, and we need his eyes. We're just going to ignore that guard there, and we are at the base. And that's stage 3. Pretty good. Is worth noting the times on the right at the end. Those are IL times, and we do a couple of different strats that we wouldn't do in a normal run for ILs, which is why it looks like my times are massively behind. They're not. Just going to punch that guard out. Don't need to worry about that alert, because we're going to lose that alert now. There's a big field of dogs here. Oh, I'm just going to quickly reload that. There we go. We had to make that phone call because if you don't make that phone call, you get a call in the middle of those dogs, and the dogs will wake up and kill you. These next few rooms are minefields, and as you can see, I'm just going straight through them. That is because there is a trick with the minefields where once you load the game up for the first time, the minefield is set, and the minefield doesn't change during your game session. So that means before this run went live, the first thing I did upon booting the game up was quickly go into stage 4, work out where the mines were, and then it meant when I then started the game again, the mines were still in the same place, which is really convenient. In this section, all we're doing is Jesse's trying to figure out his way through the jungle. When we get up to this bit here, we just turn back around again. As long as we've gone to the top screen there, it counts. But he's just lost in the jungle going around, and he keeps seeing this body, and he keeps thinking it's a different body. He's like, oh man, I found like 3 dead bodies and 3 skeletons, and he just doesn't realize that it's the same body over and over again. But the point of doing all of that is we're supposed to get a compass which tells us where to go in this jungle. If we make a wrong move in this jungle, then we will we'll get teleported back to the start. Luckily, the jungle route is always the same, so I don't have to worry. I know exactly where I'm going, and I won't get lost. So that's why it looks like I'm just going in very odd directions. But if you try and go out of here in the wrong direction, you'll just end up back at the skeleton. But luckily, we are now out of the jungle. We're going to get probably the freest secret in the game. Yep, that tree was a secret. That was good. I'm just going to ignore those guards. And that is the end of stage 4. Going through the minefield there is probably the biggest skip in the entire game. You're supposed to go down into a little underground base, find a mine detector, and there's a boss that you have to fight, but yeah, we just completely skip it. Stage 5 then. This is a level where we are going to get this caution, and we're just going to run with it, because trying to do this level while staying stealthed is very, very difficult and not worth it. But we discovered that as long as when we get spotted by an enemy, if we leave the screen before they even start calling their radio, we only get a caution. You can tell I've got a caution because the timer on the right-hand side is yellow rather than red. It means that this door doesn't close. In an alert, that door would be locked. And with that door being locked, we then have to wait for this alert to wear off. But because we never actually go into an alert, we only go into caution, then we can do it. We can just go. Now I don't care. I got shot there. That was not pleasant. Because here's the next boss. So this is Machine Mike. Got to be a bit careful here because I don't have a lot of health. Move out of the way. There we go, I'm good. And that's Machine Mike. Machine Mike, he wasn't very happy. Oh, level up. That's a nice time to level up. We're going to take Rolling Thunder, so I can roll a bit quicker. He wasn't very happy about being defeated, so he went right away, got in a tank, and we're now going to fight Splash Mike. And there's a very specific route we take for this boss. We now get a rocket launcher. And basically we just need to let him blow up a load of boxes so that we can get more rockets. But one thing I'm going to do is there's 3 grenades hiding behind this truck. So I'm going to let him shoot this truck because then I can use those grenades to break even more boxes. A lot quicker than he will. I hope I got those right. I don't think I did. Nah, I missed that one. That one. Okay, a little bit slow. Just that those grenades should have blown up all 3 of those boxes, but I just missed slightly. That's Splash Mike.
Boss defeated.
And that's chapter 5. Really fast chapter. When you do that chapter in your first ever casual playthrough, it will take you a very long time trying to get through, because you're not allowed to leave any guards lying around. You have to put them all in buildings if you knock any of them out. So it can be a really slow chapter, but that's why we just do what we do by just running through it and ignoring the mechanic of the level. All right, we're now onto a level called Engineering Problems. There's going to be some engineers. Here they are. And they are operating all of these machines, which is controlling this saw blade. So unfortunately, we're going to have to blow them up. And once we do blow them all up, that means we can get past the saw blade. Now remember, Jesse doesn't kill, so we then have to go and heal all of these guys. There's going to be another room of them. I'm going to throw another grenade at that one. Quickly run up, grab some more gear. Throw one there. Throw one there. Don't get clipped by the saw. And we're good. Alright. Do you like underwater sections? Because we've got a nice little underwater section coming up next. Luckily, it's not overly egregious. It's quite a pleasant underwater section. Normally, underwater sections in games are really horrible, but this one's actually quite pleasant. Quite calming and soothing, which is really nice. And it's got a really cool boss at the end of it. We're going to get this submarine key. I've got hotkeys for pretty much every item in the game. One of the advantages of playing this on the PC version is I'm playing it with a controller, but we're allowed to use hotkeys for pretty much every item. I have some hotkeys on my analog sticks. I have some hotkeys on my numpad, on my keyboard, and it just speeds up going in and out of menus. We come in here to grab some mini torpedoes. We only need about 18 to 19, but as this is a marathon, I'm playing it a little bit safer. 24, just to be on the safe side. We can have a maximum of 50. You definitely don't need 50. And now we're just going to make our way through this little underwater section, using missiles to blow up these mines. If we got hit by any of these mines, it'd be an instant death. Hopefully that missile... I'm going to just get out the way of that, because one of those missiles hitting me would be an instant death. A little bit slow in that room. There's another secret behind this little bit of wall, so we'll grab that as well, because it's relatively free. And then we've got a couple more rooms of mines to deal with. Oh, that one didn't hit. So just play that safe. Got to shoot some rockets through these pipes here to hit those two. Now we can go up and around. And just two more. We can just shoot these top two here, and then just sort of glide across the top here. And now we have Huge Eel. This is probably the easiest boss in the game. He's very straightforward. We just fire a mine into his mouth. He goes back inside. We fire our next mine. He goes back inside. We fire our next one, and I think you can see the pattern here. It's a very, very easy boss fight. There was a cool bug early on in this game where if you stuck around after defeating Huge Eel, his dead body would just float across the top of the screen for no reason. It was really funny, but the devs patched it out. I really wish they hadn't, because it was really funny. We wouldn't have seen it in a speedrun. You have to wait around for like a minute. We get our next level up, Gunslinger, so that the gun reloads automatically. As far as XP is concerned, we are exactly on track for XP. You should be hitting level 5 upon defeating Huge Eel, so things are good. Okay, we are now going into Chapter 7, the Boondocks, and this has probably got the most difficult boss in the game. We're going to be fighting a nuclear submarine. Not like a nice little yellow submarine like we were just enjoying a little jaunt in. No, like a big, massive, black nuclear submarine that's big and scary. But before we do that, we're going to get rich. We're going to get ourselves $40 million. Because, oh, this is a nasty room. Please don't call. Oh, that is a really horrible room because of the placement of where the guards can be. So I'm just going to punch those guys like that. Luckily, I didn't call an alert. If I'd called an alert, I would have had to like either load or wait it out. So I got quite lucky there. That was nice. We're going to buy this boat to escape. So there we go. We've just bought this boat for $50 million. Unfortunately, it got struck by a lightning bolt and sank, and the guy won't give us our money back. So we're going to have to venture forwards into the base instead. We're going to stock up on grenades here. That bulletproof vest that I got earlier is really paying off. One of the secrets we got earlier was a bulletproof vest, which just gives a chance of bullets not dealing any damage. It's really, really useful. Right, here's Nuke Sub. I'm going to be quiet here. Oh. And that should be the boss. Cool. And I'm fully stocked up on ammo as well. Wow, wow, wow. That was pretty good. Probably could have been done one cycle quicker. But in a marathon setting, I'm pretty pleased with that. I didn't die to it, and that's the important bit. Because it's quite a long checkpoint back if you die to that boss. Okay, so okay, I don't quite know how that guard saw me from all the way over there. But okay, unfortunately, that does mean I've got to load a save. Because we can't afford to get spotted. With that, just make sure I go straight up here. Okay, I'm good, I'm good. That was weird. I'm just going to ignore these guards. Just go straight in. Okay. We're going to take the boat on the left. It's out of gas. Luckily, we've got some gas. We're going to fight another vehicle. This is Black Thunder. And in this fight, the Black Thunder's movements are not random. It's the position of the... Oh! It's the position of the river that is random. So it is very easy to just suddenly get caught out by the way the river is changed. So unfortunately, this has not been a deathless run. It's going to be a slow... It is possible with good RNG, with a good river layout, to do this in two cycles. So two movements of Black Thunder crossing over. Unfortunately, that was not a nice layout at all. So we just have to deal with it. But that's stage 7. We've got 3 more stages to go. We are closing in on the finish line. Chapter 8, 1,000 Eyes Are Watching You. This is a level which is... This sort of slows down things a little bit. There's not so much action. This is very based on stealth. There is going to be a load of security cameras. And in Jesse's retelling of his story, he claims that he never got spotted by anyone. And as a result, if we get spotted by a camera, Jesse will be called out for being a liar, and we'll get a game over and we'll have to restart. Luckily, by taking the load that I did a second ago, it sets up all of the cycles of the cameras in these next few rooms. So every single camera that I now come across is going to be moving in exactly the position we want it to. So we don't have to sit around and wait for these cameras. Like when I move into the next room, the camera is already moving to the right. I can already move to here. And it's nice and seamless. This was something I discovered a couple of weeks ago, and it really sped up this level. Because particularly in a casual run, this level is really, really slow. I've just made some little dummies. I found some officer uniforms, some string, and some cane. And that's because there's going to be a couple of guards coming up that are in line of sight of some cameras. And if those cameras don't see those guards there, they're going to raise an alarm. So what we're going to do is we're going to knock the guard out. but leave a little dummy behind so that the camera thinks, oh, the guard's fine, see? Not a problem. Wait for that camera. Down here, wait for this camera. Drop the other one. Wait for the camera to move, because we've got another secret here. I do want to get. Quickly run up to here. Punch that tree, because there's another stamina behind it. Into here, and we can now grab some electromagnetic grenades. Grab 11, because that's max. Now run up here. Throw an electromagnetic grenade at that camera. Move around to here. And through. Now we can get through this left-hand section by throwing electromagnetic grenades, which just disables the cameras for a few seconds. Luckily, we're playing this on the easiest difficulty, so they're knocked out for a decent chunk of time. Oh, gotta make sure I throw the electromagnetic grenade before I open the gate and the camera sees me. That would have been bad. And then we've got a little puzzle in this final room of this chapter. We need to get through that door, and there's a guard on the other side of the door on an intercom, and we're gonna trick him. We're gonna pretend to be a pizza delivery guy, but to do that, we need to know what kind of pizza. So we checked this discarded pizza box, and it was a pepperoni pizza. We're now going to combine it with the fire extinguisher there, so it looks like it's smoking hot. And we get inside the base on the promise of a pepperoni pizza. But unfortunately for that guy, we're not there to give him a pizza. We're there to give him a knuckle sandwich. That was terrible, but I don't apologize for that pun. We just disabled the security system so that we can't get an alert in this next section. So the guard will call the radio, but there will not be an alert because we've disabled the security system. We're now going to get one of the most important items in this level. It's called the blood bag. Interesting thing about this game compared to other games that deal with health. When you heal in this game, you don't heal back up to full health. You slowly regenerate health over time. I'm going to quickly run in here just for safety. Grab some more electromagnetic grenades. You heal slowly over time, which can cause problems, because if you're really low on health, then you'll use a health kit and then get shot and still die, because that health kit hasn't actually regenerated any of your health. The blood bag is the exception to this. When we use a blood bag, we will immediately go back up to full health. And we're going to use that to do a skip that we call the red room skip. In this next section, there's going to be what's called the red room, which is full of gas. Sorry, it's full of radiation, and the idea is we're supposed to go left here in order to get a rad suit, but as speedrunners we decided now that's really slow. I'm going to use a potty though, which is a portable save point. So what we're going to do is rather than go and get the rad suit, which is really slow, we're going to get to here, use the blood bag, get us back up to full health, and get through this room without having to go. It's like three more rooms to go and get the rad suit and then come back again. It's really slow. Again, it's another trick. It's another route that we found very, very early on when we were routing this game. Let's get through here. Next few rooms are a little bit scary because our last save point was just before we went into the red room. So, you know, really don't want to get caught at this point. This room in particular is one of the scariest rooms in the game. I'm fine. If I'd got an alert there, that would have been really bad. Luckily, that alert, we can just load that save. And just take this guard out before he can raise an alert. And now we've done a nice big circle. All of that just to get keycard level 4. I'm going to ignore that floor for the moment. We'll come back to that floor in a minute. We're going to go up to the roof. And on the roof, Jesse's going to find his ticket out of here. there is a helicopter, but there's a communications tower, which unfortunately is arming an anti-aircraft battery, meaning if he tries to take off in the helicopter, he's just going to get shot down immediately. So we're going to try and take out that communications tower. To do that, we're going to need lots of wires and some crocodile clips. One more wire. There's the helicopter. That's what we're going to escape in. The end is almost here, guys. There's our helicopter. There's our ticket out of here. We're going to just combine those wires with the crocodile clips to make some clamps. Luckily, this section here, we've got to put the clamps on in a certain order, otherwise it'll blow up. The order is always the same, and this is actually the only bit of the run where I still have notes. And then we have to cut some. We have to cut some wires as well. Right. Yeah. Done. That's it. We just have to go to the heliport. We just have to go to the heliport, get in the helicopter, and leave. We've escaped. Simple. Couldn't have been more simple than that, could we? There we go. Ah, obtain the helicopter's key. Ah, they don't just leave the keys in the helicopters. Well, guess we better go and find the key. So yeah, unfortunately, we are going to have to go down to that 3rd floor. And this section is one of the more horrible sections of the run. Because we now get introduced to these Japanese guards. They go down in one hit, but they call alerts almost instantly. So we've got to be really careful not to get an alert here. I also really, really want to be level 6, but I don't think I'm going to hit it. I'm going to use a potty here just to be on the safe side, because this room is the worst room in the entire game. Got him. Is that level 6 as well? Absolutely perfect. This is the very last moment that I need to be level 6. So that was ideal. Absolutely perfect timing. Because with level 6, we do more damage with our pistol. Meaning... Oh, sugar. I didn't quite get enough hits on that guard. On that boss. With the increased damage that we get on the pistol from level 6, we can take out that boss very, very quickly. And there's going to be some more enemies coming up later, which if it wasn't level 6, they'd take 3 hits to kill. Instead, they're only going to take 2. Is really handy as well. And we're going to be using the pistol on the final boss of the game as well. Luckily, we've already dealt with all of the guards in here, so we can just run through. Not much going on in here now. We just run straight through. Don't have to worry about that guy there. Oh, we should roll though because there's an enemy on screen. Only concern I've got at the moment is I've got no health kits and I'm very, very low on health. So I really, really don't want to get shot. Unfortunately, we've got to go through here one more time. Because we now need to get some night vision goggles from this room. We couldn't have got these earlier. We didn't have card 4. We've got the night vision goggles. Now we've got to do is make our way down to the basement. Because in the basement is our ticket out of here. Okay. No worries with those guys there. That's the Keeper of the Maze. That guy is that character is voiced by one of the developers, Jack Lafayette, who's still active in the Metal Gear Speedrunning Discords. He's done commentary on some of my runs before, and he's a really cool guy to have around. So these are the enemies I was talking about, where I said they only take 2 shots to kill. Normally, I'd be a little more dangerous with this, and I could take some damage from some of them, but I am very, very low on health. I'm going to play this very, very safe. This is a very long save point if I get killed here. So yeah, just going to play this super safe. Luckily, I think I've got plenty of ammo. Take that one out there. Down here. There's no ammo. There is some extra ammo in some boxes here, so I'm going to make sure I get this ammo. I'm going in a very particular direction. We got given a map earlier. If we go the wrong way, then the floor will break out in front of us. So I'm going a very particular route, because luckily the route is always the same, so we don't have to worry. Nearly through. Couple more ghosts. We're fine. We've got one more ghost as long as I take this ghost out. That's it. That's the end of chapter 9. All right. We now go into chapter 10, the final chapter of the game. Escape complete. We've managed to make it through the other side. We're now in General X's private quarters. General X being the big bad of the game. Remember, Jesse wasn't here to try and, like, defeat him or unfoil his evil plot. He's just trying to escape. He just wants to go home. He's just a dude who just wants to go home. But he's been forced to fight and do all of this stuff against his will. Poor Jesse. Very sad. Now, going back to that chemistry class that we were talking about earlier, you all know how to make C4, right? To make C4, we get 4 lots of C1 and combine them all to make C4. There we go, C4 with a little watch on it as a timer. Couldn't be simpler. Easy. All right. We're now going to do a thing called the Death March, where we're going to have to try and get to an elevator whilst carrying the Colonel. This is why we've been getting all of the stamina throughout the entire run. And I've already messed it up. I'm going to load. My positioning was all over the place there. Ooh, that wasn't nice. Oh, that's not nice at all. Little bit of RNG in this. With the suit that we've got. No. Oh, these are not being nice. Let's say the bulletproof vest we've got sometimes prevents damage. That was better. I managed to dodge all of those. So there is a little bit of RNG involved in this, but it's also about trying to dodge as much as we can. I think I'm... Ow! I'm fine. There is a save point right here. There we go. Load. We're good. We're good. Whew, that was very, very close. We're now into General X's private armory. We're just going to stock up on some items before the final fight. Make sure we got enough, because if we don't, we're going to be in trouble. I think I've got enough grenades. I don't need any more. That'll do. All right. And now we are going to go up and defeat the final boss, General X himself. This fight is done in 3 stages. We're going to fight some drones, we're going to fight a little robot, and then we're going to fight General X. So first up, the drones. We're just going to shoot them with our bullets. Luckily, drones aren't people. We don't have to heal the drones. We can just kill them. That one's being a little sly. Last wave. Ooh. Here comes the little robot thing. Just throw some grenades at it. Perfect. And then finally, General X himself. He's got an invisibility suit, so we're going to disable it with some electromagnetic grenades. And I one-cycled him as well, which was really nice. That is not as easy as it looks. And that's the game. There we go. 46 minutes, 23 seconds. Not a bad run at all. Actually, that's a really good run. I'm really pleased with that. That's the best marathon run I've had so far. So yeah, this is a really fun game, and even though the Metal Gear community adopted it, not that many people run it, which is why it was eligible for Obscurathon. So I'm really pleased that Obscurathon gave me the opportunity to come here, show this game off. and hopefully encourage some people to pick it up and play it. Even if you don't want to speedrun it, it's an absolutely fantastic game. It's so funny. Obviously, we skipped over all of the dialogue in this game. It is hilarious, and the developer, Unepic Fran, put so much work into making this game and making it a bit fun. There is a little epilogue here. We just have to punch out Colonel Harris and then done. But yeah, so huge thank you to the devs for all the work they put into this. Huge thank you to the MGSR community. If you are interested in speedrunning this game or just learning more about it, head to metalgearspeedrunners.com. My name's been NickRPGreen. Throw me a follow on Twitter or Twitch if you want to see me do more runs of this. I am the world record holder, and I am looking at learning to run the hard difficulty of this next. Start trying to get it into things like GDQ and stuff. So yeah, once again, Obscurathon, thank you very much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure running this for you today. Enjoy the rest of the runs this weekend. Thanks very much.